Hold the mic, just doesn't have to be right up, just there, it's fine. And I'm recording when you guys are ready.
No worries. Greig, you've been here before, obviously you were here last year. What's the build-up been like this week? How's it compared to, say, this time last year?
Yeah, I guess last year we lost the first final, so I had to keep winning each week to get through, so you don't get time to think about things, whereas this year, we won our final and got a week off, which a lot of the boys seen as a positive, really freshen up and do a bit more loading last week with the running and then freshen up for this week. So the other positive is, without knowing your team exactly, there's probably 15 guys that played in the flag last year, so they know what to expect. And last year I probably got to a few younger guys and told them what to expect, whereas this year they've been there, done that. So the nerves aren't as bad as what they were last year, I guess.
Yeah, for you personally, I suppose, what would it mean? Like, you've had your Roosters success and obviously you've won this one last year. What would it mean for you if you were to get another one?
Oh, look, I guess that's why everyone plays sport. Obviously it's with your mates, you're there to have a good time. At the end of the day, we're all striving for a premiership, whether that's football, tennis, netball. We're all there to win premierships, so that's what I'm here to do. Here to help the young guys achieve those goals. And if the time's up, it's up. If I continue, I'll continue. But I'm definitely there just to try and play my role and help the young kids out to win as many flags as they can while I'm around.
Yeah. Have you started thinking about that at all yet, in terms of when you're going to call it quits, or are you still just...
Get over this one, mate.
No, look, at 34, obviously, the time's getting closer. So, if I wasn't contributing, I'd definitely know the answer right now. But at the minute, I think I contribute what I have to do and play my role. So, while things are going well, I'm not too sure at this stage.
Yeah. Are there still nerves at this stage? You've been through it all so many times before.
Oh, look, to be honest, not a great deal of nerves. At the end of the day, we know we're just going to play our normal game of football. So, I guess going back 5-6 years ago, there's lots of nerves leading into finals, but I know it doesn't take anything special to win a grand final. Just what we do for 20 rounds of the year. To be honest, not a great deal of nerves myself, but speaking to players last night at training, a few of the younger guys still got a few nerves.
Yeah. Do you think that helps a bit that you don't have them as much, and you might sort of, I don't know, be able to calm them down, I suppose, a few of the younger guys?
Oh, each their own. We're all different, we're all made differently. So, I still remember Sean Maloney years ago, and but he used to actually vomit before a game. He got that nervous that he was an experienced player. So, as I said, we're all built differently. It doesn't affect me individually, but I think it's good for the young guys to get nervous and go through those emotions.
Yeah.
How's the intensity on the track been, just for having the week off?
Yeah, as I said, last week, pretty heavy week on the track. We did a lot of running, obviously, we had the week off. Then we had a bit of a light session Saturday morning, and last night, even though it was raining during the day, it was a cracking night for training. So intensity was amazing, energy levels are up, obviously. Lots of excitement because it's a grand final. It'll be the same at Ballarat, I imagine. It's been a good start to the week, and we want to finish on a high tomorrow night.
What do you take from that Ballarat win, obviously, on the weekend? Maybe it was a bit surprising that it was by so much. Obviously, you guys watched it all.
Yeah, no, credit to them. A few people said, oh, geez, it was a surprise result, but at the end of the day, I think the top three teams have clearly been the best teams all year. So, it wasn't a surprise to myself. Their good players played really well, which is what you expect. So, no surprise for me. What's your play availability looking like? Obviously, you've got a pretty big list of people.
Yeah, there's a few blokes putting their hand up, get them out washing my car during the week and looking after me. It's been fantastic. But look, we've had a couple of injuries during the year, and blokes have missed a year mid-season, so we've been the same the last 6-7 weeks. We've been full list, so looking good.
Sam Howard, a chance?
Sam's pretty confident. He's training pretty hard. We're trying to keep him out of the training groups at the moment. He's going at 100k an hour. But look, Sam's a chance. Josh McDermott, Charles Murray, all come to the mix, and a couple of young boys as well, yeah, for sure.
Jared Edwards, all good. You obviously rested a little bit in the last game.
Yeah, same as about another 3 or 4 midfielders the same. They've had a big workload this year. We rotate those blokes fairly heavily. But he's had Mr. Knight training for a long time. He's flying at the moment.
How are you finding the players, just kind of the hunger levels from obviously this time last year to go back to back?
It's hungrier, and it has to be, because every premiership team talks about bringing new blood in for that reason, and we've done the same. But I put the focus back on the experienced boys. I want more from them. You know, I'm always after more, and look, they've been fantastic thus far.
What were you impressed with from Ballarat on the weekend?
Oh, they were super, Ballarat. I think the week before we may have woken the sleeping giant. I thought the first quarter, as Marc said, but just before that, their better players all had impact in the game. Conroy, Proctor, Sewell, or both Sewells, Hutchie, all those blokes had a very good impact in the first quarter. I thought won the game there and then. But their drive from the defence was very good. I know that Garner played back at Wadey at one stage, 20 touches for the day. Garner had 21. May had 22. They just had a lot of footy from the back line. Stapo had 22 as well, possessions. 101 uncontested footy to 60, so a lot of footy on the outside, and they just ran ragged. That brings guys like McGregor into play, who had 30 of those marks himself, and they just delivered the ball forward, and the forwards loved it. They were very good, very impressive.
Did you take anything from that semi, or you couldn't?
Yeah,
you expected 2 weeks later. It
oh no, they were a different team, and they proved that. And as Marc said, a lot of people thought it was there for Redan to lose, but the way Ballarat went about it was very strong, and you could see the first 5 minutes they were up and about. Their tackle pressure was very good. They were just on song, and it was great. All our blokes were there and watched it and seen it, and they identified it was a completely different team. We'd be switched on. We'd have been our very best to beat them.
Think you go in as the favourite?
Oh, that's all well and great. You get nothing for it, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been mentioning Josh McDermott most weeks, sort of at these press conferences, but he hasn't got a game. Would it be somewhat of a risk if you were to bring him up for the grand final? He hasn't played much senior.
Our under-18s reserves and seniors all train together every night of the year, every pre-season night. Our extra nights all the same, so fitness is no problems. But just he's there, he's an extra tall. We're not quite sure how some of the Ballarat boys will pull up, but if we identify that they may have a weakness with their talls or an extra ruckman, Conroy played the entire game last week and had 2 stints in the ruck for the entire day. He was worried about his leg, but there's an opportunity to throw Josh in and stretch them further in their ruck stocks. You know what I mean? So that's a thing we'll look at, and it's hard. Someone will miss out, but we're here to win flags, so it's just a tough call. But we're here to beat Ballarat.
Yeah, how hard is it this year to make that call? Because I think last year you swapped the Jenkins boys around for the grand final. It's going to be someone's going to miss out because your list is so strong at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's tough. It's tough leaving boys out of the team, but from a coaching's perspective, and Shane will admit the same thing, it's a good spot to be in. It's tough for the individual, but from a club point of view, you want depth. You want the depth right all at the same time of year, and we've got that. So it's a tough call for one individual or 2 or 3 individuals, but from a club perspective and a team, it's from a coaching point of view, it's good to go and a bit of depth. So yeah.
Everyone probably expects you to win. Do you feel any pressure that it is almost maybe more yours to lose in a way?
Oh, look, we're pretty keen. We just, we joked about last night. We're playing in the car park if we have to. We're pretty keen to get out there. Favouritism and all sorts of stuff, it means nothing until the ball's bounced on the weekend. Were we favourites last year? We weren't favourites last year. It doesn't matter. That's what happens on Saturday. You don't get a free kick, a free kick or a shot on goal for free. Nothing. It doesn't make any difference. It's 2 teams button heads Saturday, 2 o'clock, 2:30.
Yep. Similar to last year, maybe the crowd might be more on Ballarat's side.
Fantastic.
Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Oh, hopefully. Right, yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, we're just here to win. I don't care about anyone else besides our footy club. We're here to play well, play a good brand of footy, and hopefully it's good enough to beat Ballarat. Hopefully it's good enough to beat Ballarat.
Yeah, I think the last 5 games you've had against them, you've won by an average of, I think it's actually bang on 50. Yeah. So what does that mean? It must give you a bit of confidence.
Oh, look, it's confidence, but it's boring. But we go back to if we do everything right with what we can control, that's good enough for us. I think Redan's average winning margin was 40-odd points as well. Of the last 10 times against Ballarat, and it didn't help on the weekend. So, what's happened in history is all well and good, and we played them probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. It's what happened Saturday, and we're going to be really focused and strong and worry about only Saturday, and that'll be the difference.
Yep. And just lastly, a couple of guys missed out last year. Derek and Tristan couldn't make it up for the grand final. It must be good to see them running around and have their first crack at it as well.
Yeah, those 2 boys were injured last year, and we were pretty strong on not bringing injured players. And Carts broke his hand last year, and Derek was thereabouts. But Clay Jenkins missed out as well, and it's great to see Clay. Hopefully he gets a chance to come in and play with his brother. And but it's fantastic for those blokes to be available. But make no mistake, they've had to work pretty hard from last year. They could have went away and went elsewhere and played, took the foot off the pedal. But they've worked pretty hard, both those players. And they're both little 3 players, 2 are injured obviously. But they're the 3 of them are very important players of our structure.
Yeah, too easy. Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
Shane, probably the underdogs heading into this week. Do you think that's the case, or what are your thoughts heading into those guys?
We're not going to play the underdog tag. Yeah, they're a powerful club, well coached, and they've been on top all year, so we understand where it sits. But I think, as Robbie said, once we get to the game, it's to us it's a 50-50 match, and we're out there to win it.
Yeah. How big is it for the club to get even this far, in terms of you probably might not have been expected to outside your own club? How big is it just to reach the grand final?
Yeah, look, it's really hard to gauge. Making the grand final is an achievement in some eyes, but realistically, you're there to win them, and if you don't win them, you sort of have failed anyhow. So it's a really, I think supporters, they like to be part of grand final week, but realistically, the players and coaches value the win more than anything.
Yeah, you've got so many guys that were involved. It was a long time ago now, but in 2008, there's still a fair chunk of them that must help out in a way, and that you've got that experience, and a lot of guys that have been there before.
Yeah, there's some players that have played some footy at a high level for quite a few years, and obviously some of the boys made the 2010 grand final, so there's experience all the way through in finals, so that'll carry a little bit of weight. We've got some young players playing their first grand final, so we need to make sure that those guys are passing on the experience required for those younger blokes to perform on the day.
Yeah, how are you looking selection-wise? Like Luke Brennan's probably the name everyone's sort of asking at the moment. Is he a chance to get up? Or?
Yeah, he is, no doubt. The paper today, Luke Kennelly won't play now. He couldn't train last night, so we've cut it down to 4 possibilities. But as we said, we need to make sure that they're 100% to go. And Luke's in the mix. He's got to tick off a couple of things this week, but I think he's a real chance to play. Yeah,
he was close last week to getting up, was he?
Probably. It was getting towards the end of the week. It was a bit tight, but now obviously with a full week ahead of him, he's looking closer.
Yeah. How valuable would he be? Because North obviously a big side, and he's just wherever he plays, he sort of really fills that key position really well. How important would it be if he was to get up?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a good player, and I think he'll drag the group along if he gets through the week too. So, he's adaptable. We can put him in different positions, and that's probably been a real focus of him and probably our team this year. We've tried to be flexible at both ends of the ground, so he'll add a bit of flexibility if he gets through.
Yep, and Sam Conroy, he should be right after scraping through last week?
Yeah, he'll play.
When are you going to wait and make a decision on the brands? Is it going to be Thursday night probably? Or?
Yeah, look, unfortunately a couple of the guys are going to be towards the back end of the week, so you always try and make it Thursday night. Obviously the Friday, how do they pull up? But yeah, look, I'm thinking that the guys are pretty advanced, some of the guys that are a chance. So, Snowy Thornton trained pretty well last night. He was pretty close last week. So we expect, but then again, we've had a winning side, so we've got to weigh it all up to see, who misses out, what got us there, and try and make the right decision for everyone.
How strict are you going to be on not taking in injured players?
Yeah, really strict.
And on the other scale, how many have you got, or who have you got coming in who's, maybe the younger guys haven't played premierships before, haven't played in grand finals?
Oh, well, look, I don't know all their history that well. Look, there's a couple of younger, Mitch Martin played on the weekend, he's in the mix, so that'll be his first senior appearance, obviously, and, Nico Farrell and a few of the guys through that area of our, younger guys haven't been, unless Nick played in 2010. No. So, look, there'll be a few guys playing their first big game.
Mitch Rod as well?
Roddy won't play.
What do you take out of the weekend? What were you particularly happy about?
Yeah, look, I suppose all year we've improved as the year's gone on. Just against North and Redan throughout the year we've hit hurdles. But we've been working on lots of different things, and sometimes you work on one thing and one area of game starts to just sort of stagnate a bit. So hopefully the things we've been working on, we're starting to come together. We're pretty good against Sunbury. Obviously North touched us up, and good again last week. So we're hopefully on the heading north in the graph, I suppose.
Must be happy with Ruck, with how the Rucks come together as well. Obviously from injuries, but kind of coming together at the right time.
Yeah, look, both are pretty honest ruckmen. They give you first use and they give you a really good effort around the footy. So I think that's important for the midfield group. So yeah, having them both back in last week, I think we looked a lot better.
I was kind of saying, maybe he really, they woke in you guys after that big defeat a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago. How are you? What did you really take from that? What did you guys kind of talk about straight after?
Yeah, look, I suppose with a lot of losses, you learn a lot, and we put some things in place that didn't quite work for us. Players in different positions. So I think when you do lose, you do gain that knowledge moving on to the next contest. So we tried to obviously rush it out of our minds really quickly and move on because we had another game to play. But realistically, the boys have got belief. You can smell it at training if there's uncertainty, but they actually believe they can win this week, and I reckon that's really important.
Obviously, with their forward line as well, what's kind of the plan for that? Last time, a couple of their main guys touch you up, and the 5 goals and 4. What's kind of the plan going in?
Yeah, look, they'll have their matchups, but realistically, the usage of the North City team is fantastic. So if we let them, run in space with no pressure, that's going to really hurt us. So we're going to have to be really good around the footy and through both ends of the ground to make sure our pressure's up.
What kind of advantage would be having Luke Brennan in, obviously?
Look, Brennan is massive for us. He's been extremely valuable for us all year. As Shane said, we've had the luxury, if you like, to be able to play him sort of forward, midfield and back. So he would really just add to our versatility and flexibility on the weekend. He's a type of player who he always gives his all, and he's very adaptable, and wherever we play him, we know that he'll be very hard to stop in that position.
Did you take confidence from the weekend how you got such a big score, over 20 goals? Because you haven't scored as well against North City. I know there was that game with the wet as well, but you must take confidence that you can keep that now.
Yeah, look, we've been up and down with our scores, with our kicking this year a little bit. I think one of the most biggest positives come from the weekend was that our pressure around the ball carrier. We were able to get some pretty good supply into our forwards and then limit their supply. And when Redan did have the footy, we were able to put some pressure on them, which did enable them to give their forwards some good supply. So I think that was crucial. We had that good pressure on the ball carriers all over the ground, and if we're to be any chance this weekend, we need to probably better that again against North City.
This is a bit out as well. Just do you take confidence in that you'd have quite a few players or people still around from that 08 grand final?
Look, yes and no. I think as Greig sort of said, some of that experience that a few of us had from playing that 08 flag will be valuable, not only to us but to the younger guys, and also with the 2010 grand final as well. So there's a few of us who know what to expect and hopefully know how to handle the situation, and we'll be hopefully looking to pass some of that knowledge on to some of the guys who haven't experienced it. It's a fantastic time of year to still be playing footy, and first and foremost the guys need to embrace the week and embrace the day and enjoy running out there with 22 of their closest mates. And
just last from me as well, just obviously trying to shut down North City's obviously that forward line.
Yeah, look, they're a quality side all over the ground. They're a quality club, so we need to be better than we were against Redan last week, and a lot of that will come from that pressure on their ball carriers and not letting them hit up their targets like they used to and like they like to do, and making sure that they've got the pressure on the footy, and when they are getting supply forward, that it's sort of under pressure and sort of making it hard for their forwards and easier for our defenders to stop those injuries.
Sewell, you probably haven't played finals for a few years, obviously being out at Newland. What does it mean for you personally to be running out in the grand final in front of thousands of people?
Yeah, this is what you play footy for. You play footy to play in grand finals and to win grand finals. As Skontra said, you don't play footy to play in a grand final and come runners up. You play footy to win flags. So while it's great to get there, the job's nowhere near done. It wouldn't mean much if we didn't get the points and didn't come away with a win on the weekend anyway.
Yeah. Seems we ask you every week during the week about Miles' form, and you say he's getting better and better, and you probably did again on the weekend, do you think? He's just seems to be getting better most weeks, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, with Miles obviously spending a bit of time overseas during the year and probably not having footy around and not worried about footy too much, his touch has just been getting better and better, and getting back to probably where he was towards the end of last year. That'll continue to improve, and his fitness is continually getting better and better. So, yeah, look, he's cherry ripe, and it's great to have him in the form he is at the moment.
Yeah, and for you, just as his older brother, what's it going to be like running out in a grand final with him as well?
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. But once again, that won't mean much if we don't win it on the weekend. Yes, it'll be great to run out there beside him at the start of the game and line up with, listen to the anthem and that sort of thing. But come Sunday morning, we want to be able to look at each other and say we won a flag together, instead of saying we just played in a grand final together. So that win means a hell of a lot more than just being able to play with him in the side for the grand final.
Yeah. Do you remember much about the build-up back in 08 and 2010, I suppose? And how did it compare this time around?
Probably 08. We were probably in fairly similar circumstances in terms of obviously in 08 Darley they were very strong. Similar this year with North City being extremely strong. So 2010, look, I think Lakers probably they were the favourites as well, and they were able to prove why they had that favourite tag that day. But lead up during the weeks and that sort of thing has been fairly similar. Obviously, with Bakes being with John Northey coaching us for so long, Bakes has taken little bits and pieces from what Sweeper used to do and how he used to handle situations, and so from that point of view, it's been relatively similar. Yeah.
Too easy. Well, best of luck on the weekend, guys. Cheers.
I didn't know we made the finals 2 years ago.